Aw, man. Darn it. What a terrible way for that game to end. This is like legitimately the first time in a decade that I sat down and I had an entire American Hockey League hockey game on my TV in my household. This was the first time that has happened in literally a decade. The last time it happened was when Jacob Markstrom was backstopping the Utica Comets in their final series against the Manchester Monarchs. But 10 years removed from Jacob Markstrom developing in Utica and inevitably becoming an NHL stud, we saw Arturs Silovs today suit up for the Abbotsford Canucks and face 40 shots on goal, ultimately allowing maybe the worst one in at the end there. And it wasn't his fault. I say it was the worst goal that was allowed, but man, what a terrible bounce. What a stupid way to end that game. And when you think about the fact that the Charlotte Checkers may or may not have, maybe probably did get away with some infractions or two that could have or probably should have led to penalties, the fact that Charlotte got away out of those, and they inevitably win because Jesse Puljujarvi is behind the Abbotsford net. He tosses it out in front. It goes off of Ty Mueller's skate and in by Arturs Silovs to send the series back to Charlotte and to give this Checkers team life. Not losing the series 4-1, but instead coming within one. It's now 3-2 Abbotsford after what was a total lackluster and kind of anticlimactic finish. But before we talk about the game itself, I wanted to talk about one particular thing here. I just gotta say, to the NHL Network folks, to the American Hockey League folks who run the broadcast, what the hell is going on with your freaking advertisements? Was I the only one whose household was repeatedly playing an ad that was very clearly some sort of a scam AI thing over and 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 over again in between the third period and the start of overtime? I mean, people were talking about this on Reddit, people were talking about this on Twitter. What the hell was that? NHL Network, get some new ads. It's not even the fact that it was the same ad over and over and over again. It was the fact that it was that particular ad. There are kids watching these programs, folks. What are you doing having this kind of an advertisement in your rotation? Like, sure, the company, okay, not the company, but like the product that is being advertised, the particular pills that are there are advertisements that exist for those products that are done in a, dare I say, family-friendly way. And I say family-friendly, not as the proper term, but because it's like, okay, the commercial has like a bunch of adults laughing and like walking around, and it just says, oh, ask your doctor. And it's like, okay, it's discreet, right? Kids are really gonna know what that means. But the advertisement that was showing up here, repeatedly, between the third period and overtime, it was so blunt, it was like, yeah, no, get this. Like, and it was the AI voiceover with the TikTok captions on the bottom. Like, who makes these ads, bruh? Who does that? An AHL, an NHL Network, Flow Hockey TV, whomever it was that was in charge of playing it. Why did you do that? That is like the stupidest thing I've ever seen out of an... Okay, I was about to say an NHL broadcast. No, it wasn't an NHL broadcast. It was an American Hockey League broadcast that actually did have some pretty good commentating and good presentation when the game was going on. The in-between period segments were questionable in terms of the advertisements that they had shown. But ultimately, Abbotsford loses this one 4-3. I don't want to do the entire classic Lego Rocks 99 game recap thing where we go over all the high danger chances and talk about all the intricate dynamics of the game. We can just talk about the goals, talk about how Arturs Silovs let in 4 on 40. Not bad, by any means. 36 saves on 40 shots against is a .9 save percentage, but I will say, Silovs did not look as good as he normally does in these games here. And some of the goals that did go by him, I mean, maybe The ones that were a little bit earlier on, not really his fault. Like, you can't blame him for a backdoor cross crease on a 2-on-1. That's kind of, tough for any goalie to stop. But some of the other shots that were a little bit further out, shots from the hash marks and other plays in front, you would like to see Silovs maybe get a little bit of an angle on that, but still, the guy made 36 saves. It's hard to fully say that he was the reason that Abbotsford lost. He definitely was not. He was part of the reason they made it to overtime in the first place. It's just that last second goal, that was a total knob. It turned everything up and around over its head, and you can't really blame anybody on it, really. It's just Ty Mueller. His stick, his skate, his body, it's at the wrong place at the wrong time. Unfortunate part about this game is the fact that the Abbotsford Canucks did have a 3-2 lead. They came back after being down 2-1, quickly tying things up with Arshdeep Bains' 7th on the playoffs, and then Linus Karlsson just a few minutes later scored a beautiful snipe off of, I believe, the Charlotte defenseman and in to give Abbotsford the 3-2 lead. But after Charlotte got themselves another power play and tied things up over there are no more calls for the rest of the game, even though you very well could have said there should have been. I don't know. The Charlotte Checkers got away with quite a bit of net front physicality. And then, of course, the goal that went in off of Mueller, and I think it was Brisebois as well. It went off of both guys, kind of pinballed around there, and Jesse Puljujarvi gets the decision. So now, Abbotsford's going back over to Charlotte, North Carolina. It's going to be Bojangles Coliseum, and everybody likes to complain about the quality of the ice in this arena. Everybody's memeing around saying it's going to be water polo when Abbotsford plays there because their ice is so loose, but yeah, it was never going to be easy, right? And the Abbotsford Canucks did battle hard. I will say, though, the Charlotte Checkers, they do move the puck well. There's a reason they are also in the finals here. I was really impressed with just kind of the offensive opportunities they were trying to create and just kind of the opportunities they would open up for themselves with their movement and puck play. Arturs Silovs stood the task for most of it. It's just the flukiest kind of goal goes in and nobody expects it to happen. What an anticlimactic way to end off a pretty otherwise incredible game. The atmosphere looked awesome at Abbotsford Center. The building's rocking, especially this time of the year. As we'd been saying this entire time, Vancouver Canucks fans do not really have much to cheer for at this point. So the Abbotsford team actually doing as well as they have been and getting to a spot where they're a win away from winning the Calder Cup. That's impressive, and it's something that I think Vancouver Canucks fans needed a little bit of a taste of in these dire times. So Abby ends up losing 4-3 in overtime to Jesse Puljujarvi on the Charlotte Checkers. I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the game that we had just witnessed, and what do you think is going to happen in game number 6? When is game number 6? Let's just go ahead and check that out. Game 6 is on Monday, June 23rd. Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Scrolls 99. And bye.